stupidity that is going on in Africa has got to come to an end. And you can't expect those who put us in positions of servitude to get us out. It's not going to happen. When is the African going to wake up? The African is stupid in Africa. The African is stupid in America. The African is stupid in South America. The African is stupid in the Caribbean. Wherever you see us as black people, we do some of the most stupid things. Is it that in 2024, we still have the photograph of Queen Elizabeth hanging over the walls of hotels in Ghana, and not a single photograph of a king or a chief from Ghana? We know when it comes to West Africa, the document that African countries were made to sign as they attained their quote-unquote independence, the document that's labeled the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. On one hand, we are giving you your independence, but on the other hand, we want you to sign this document, agreeing to continue to be colonized. And if you choose not to sign this document, in my pocket, I have a gun that has your name. Guinea and Mali, they chose not to sign the document. That France moved into those countries, poured concrete into the sewage pipes, destroyed schools, hospitals, roads, anything that could be destroyed, they destroyed. Anything that they could pick up and take back with them to France, they took. They even took the last pencil. This was done as a way of letting the other African countries know that should you refuse to sign this document, this was the fate that awaited you. You have to give up 85% at that time of your bank reserves, deposit them with France. Those funds, once gone, they're not coming back. All your minerals discovered and yet to be discovered belong to France, and French companies had the first right of refusal. Your language of instruction shall be French. Your military can only be equipped by France. Your military can only be trained by France. You must give up control of your finances. You must give up control of your natural resources. You must give up control of your military. Now, if you stay away from those, you are free to run your country as you wish. What kind of a country are you running? What kind of a leader are you? To this day, those African countries are still required to deposit their bank reserves with France. Now, the numbers have gone down some. They're down to the 50, 55, 60. But by and large, with the exception of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali that said, France, pack your bags and go home, the rest of the African countries are still subjected and held to the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. But our leaders, for various reasons, and we know those who have tried to pull away, they've either been assassinated or exiled. So the realities are there, that if African leaders try to push back, there's some serious consequences. In spite of all that, there are some other issues that they also could deal with. We know the NGOs are nothing but wolf in sheep's clothing as they come into our countries. A lot of embassies as well. We have a few nice embassies. But we have many countries that are also just here to make sure that they continue to destabilize the countries. They make sure that the elections are forever interrupted? Why is it that we are all fully aware that the loans that are being given to African countries, the loans that have been given to African countries for centuries, are frivolous loans that have been paid 1,000,000 times over? Why is it that our ministers of finance every year, twice a year, they go to the World Bank? They know what's going on, but they say nothing. What is keeping us as Africans from coming together and speaking with one voice and letting the World Bank know and the IMF that we have paid for these loans a gazillion times over? We aren't paying for them no more. What are we afraid of? Why can't we just say it like it is? It is damn wrong. And it cannot continue. But we are afraid. You see, they defeated us where it matters the most. That even things that we have the ability to change, we are afraid of changing them. When the Europeans first came to Africa, they brought us religion. And then we went to church. And they taught us about a human being called Jesus Christ. And they talked about the angels, and they talked about who are in heaven, a place we all want to go to. They're beautiful, they're angelic, they're desirable. And oh, by the way, they're white. And oh, by the way, we are white, like the angels. But remember, in school, they told us this was white. But never mind how we look. We may look rather pinkish, but don't disregard that. We are white believers. Then they turned around and said there's something called hell. And there's a devil there. Ugly, undesirable, does all the horrible things, and that creature is black. And oh, by the way, you too are black. Never mind this black color that we told you in school. A blatant lie was told to us, and we have never stood up to say that's a damn lie. I'm not black. They're not white. You look like the devil because we told you so. We look like the angels because we told you so. So it is when a little 5-year-old black boy is given 2 sets of dolls, black dolls and white dolls. And he's asked which one is mean, he points at the black one. He's asked which one is ugly, he points at the black one. He's asked which one is nice, he points at the white one. Which one is beautiful? He points at the white one. And then when asked which one is more like you, he sheepishly points at the black one. The 5-year-old boy is defeated before his life even begins. Somehow, there are subliminal messages that this boy just knows it. Think about it. So that same little boy who grew up to be the Minister of Education is not going to like anything to do with him. So yes, European history is where it's at. African history? No. You, African educators, you don't read your own work in order to be tenured. Many professors, to be tenured, they got to write 10, 20, 30, 40 papers. And those papers can only be reviewed in Europe, in the United States, by credible universities. So I said to the professors, you don't trust each other? You are not credible? If you can't trust each other, why should we parents trust you with our children? To be tenured in universities in Africa, your work has to be reviewed outside Africa. What's wrong with having universities in North Africa send their work to Southern Africa? Universities in West Africa send their work to East Africa. But no, black professors are going to be reviewing it. It's not acceptable. They won't have the same weight. Stupidity has got to come to an end. It is filtering through to everything that we are doing. I am telling you, my brothers and sisters, we are the laughingstock of the world. The current US ambassador to the United Nations, and I'm going to call her out. She was fired by President Trump when I was going to Washington. She used to come to my office and she would say, Ambassador, talk to the ambassadors. They need to speak up. When she was the former Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, she said, Ambassador, I'll be sitting on this side with the American side, and there'll be the Africans over there. She said, if they could just say some obvious things that would help her come back and make decisions and recommend certain changes. But the Africans don't speak. Tell these ambassadors to speak up. Why are we afraid? Because we were defeated where it matters the most, the mind. So no matter how hard we try to change our Africa, until we heal from the legacy of colonization, nothing we try to do is going to succeed. If we don't heal from the legacy of colonization, we will continue to be used as instruments of our own self-destruction. I challenged ECOWAS when they were trying to mobilize the military to go and fight Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Oh, we can have a coup. I said, help me understand something. France has had coups against these nations for centuries. When France is forcing these countries to deposit their bank reserves with France, that's a coup. President Tinubu, what have you done about this coup? You are sitting on the big boy chair now. Talk to me. What are you going to do about this coup? When France is making sure that all natural resources for these countries belong to France, that's a coup. What are you going to do about it, ECOWAS? But somehow, we don't see them as coups because it's the white men doing it. If a black man was doing the same thing to another black man, oh, you know, they'll call them out in a heartbeat. We have a serious problem as Africans. We don't even realize how sick we are with this disease. We are not just sick at home. We are not just sick in the doctor's waiting room. We are not just sick in the general ward in the hospital. We are in the intensive care. As a doctor, I cannot help you unless you come to me with your complaints. At least recognize that you're sick. But most of the time, we don't even realize that we are sick. This stupidity that is going on in Africa has got to come to an end. And you can't expect those who put us in positions of servitude to get us out. It's not going to happen. When is the African going to wake up? The African is stupid in Africa. The African is stupid in America. The African is stupid in South America. The African is stupid in the Caribbean. Wherever you see us as black people, we do some of the most stupid things. You go into neighborhoods. In America, where I've spent most of my time, look at the Mexicans. They stick together like super glue when it comes to issues pertaining to their existence in the United States as Mexicans. The Irish, the Jews, the Chinese, the Indians ask for their voices loud and clear because they understand the importance of unity. They don't have to love each other, but they understand when it comes to issues pertaining to their sheer existence, they must stick together like super glue. But when you ask for the voices of black people, we scatter like mice. We don't believe in each other. I was in Dallas and one Zimbabwean, I was asking, are there a lot of Zimbabweans who are you? No, I don't talk to Zimbabweans. I'm the only black person in my neighborhood, and she was so proud of it. I'm speaking to another friend, this time in Zimbabwe. She was so proud that her son cannot speak Shona, and that the son speaks English like a British.
Hello guys, my name is Golden Boy, and I'm very glad that you have watched the whole clip up to this point. And by the way, the speaker in this video is Dr. ARIKANA. It's one of the person, is the former UN member. So guys, not UN, AU. So guys, in this video, we have all seen how Africans are being controlled, and that majority of Africans up to date are not yet developed. Take a look at countries which were colonized, which got independence in 1950s. Up to date, they're still struggling with the issues of employment. They're still struggling with the issues of water. They're still struggling with the issues of medical health and even infrastructures. And majority of them are even under the GDP worldwide. Like, a lot of them are still being paid below $100. Take a look at this. What will happen if African leaders would have taken that initiative of taking care of their people? Right from taking care of housing, health, taking care of people, like literally taking care of people. Because in Africa, major thing that I've come to tell is that however, as much we are collecting a lot of tax, people are collecting billions and billions of money as a GDP and GNP. Still, majority of countries are still being poor. Now take a look at this. This amount of money being collected, you'll find that they are not in an enclosed environment, in an enclosed bank. So this money will be distributed to different projects. So it is through these projects that you'll find that these many politicians are squandering this money. So this is where the problem is: corruption. Corruption is one of the major things that is making Africans to lag behind. And we, however much we are blaming these European people, yes, we know that these people are still not yet, they have not left our countries. Like, you'll find that there are a lot of, almost 68 military bases. These military bases are used to conduct evils here in Africa. Take a look at mining sites in Congo. People are really lagging behind. And this is what Dr. ARIKANA has also talked about, that these European people, they left us almost 60 years. But up to date, we are still not getting development. We are still not getting that development as expected. I expected that the black leadership will make Africa a great again. But if we take initiatives in our own hand, then this will happen. And finally, I want to talk about this black tax. Black tax is also one of the things that is making African to lag behind, especially in families. You'll find that people are running away from their families. Small kids are taking care of their other families. And this is also one of them, that people are not taking initiative to start doing their own jobs, to start developing for themselves. But they start depending on their brothers and sisters. Yeah. So you'll find that these African men are going outside Africa just to look for job. So in this job, they get job. So their initiative is to develop the back home. So they're sending money back home. This money is used to pay fees, it's used to do this and this and that. But in the end, at the end of it, the majority of people are just reluctant because they have a brother who is very, very good in providing. So when it comes to collection of debts also, Africa has 9% worldwide. It is actually the least that has debt. The least, I mean the least. Because if you compare that debt with the United States, you'll find that these people are collecting almost 9 trillion, 9 what? But this money are going into individual pockets, politicians' pockets, the people who are high-end. Okay? So this is where Africa has to start need to correcting corruption, start need to electing leaders. Actually, we are also not electing leaders. This democracy is actually killing us. So I don't have much to talk about here. I just want to say that Africa only needs 3 things. That is corruption. Need to be corruption free. The leaders need to start taking accountabilities. And the same leaders need to start taking care of their people. Like you need to take your country, taking care of it as someone who is taking care of his families and not controlling it the way you want. Okay? Look at Kenya. Kenya is in a shamba hole. See you in another episode.